Hey gang, this is Mike with my Real Estate Dojo, and in the next few minutes I'm going to show you something that's going to change your life in the real estate business. Doesn't matter if you're a realtor or you're a real estate investor or even a small business owner or even a big business owner like attorneys or doctors' offices. Okay, now give me a few seconds, let me get a sip of water and we'll be going live, and I'm going to show you the secrets and spill the beans. All right, in the past, 14, 15 years, I've been working with virtual assistants all over the world, from China to India to Pakistan to Latin American. And in roughly like 1999, 2000, I started outsourcing programming like PHP, MySQL to Pakistan and India. And so I've learned significant amount of ideas, how to hire, how much to pay, where to find people, and over all these years as being an entrepreneur. And I'm here to share with you and try to persuade you that you must have virtual assistants to help you, because that will grow your business exponentially, and it's only going to cost you roughly about $120 a month for you to have a full-time highly educated person, let's say in India, to work for you. Okay, what do I mean by highly educated? I'm talking about masters, PhDs, multiple masters, electrical engineers, programmers, business, accountants, CPAs, whatever you can imagine, ladies and gentlemen. And these people are highly motivated, unlike the work pool that we have locally. Okay, especially at these rates. Okay, that I'm talking about. So you can, again, let me repeat this, get somebody with a college degree, even a master's degree, that speaks great English, that has multiple degrees and high level of education, to work for you for $120 to $150 a month. They'll work 8-hour days for you, 40-hour weeks. So imagine this, if you could clone yourself and have 2 or 3 of these people working for you, how much more can you get ahead in life? Let's just talk about cold calling right now, okay? Cold calling is a very lucrative business. Okay, it's a very guerrilla tactic to generate leads, and it really works. It doesn't matter if you're in charity. In high school, I used to cold call for a charity to raise money for the kids. Okay, I've cold called and sold gas to investors and doctors when I was in college. I've been cold calling all my life, from personal training to buying houses for cash. And it's a very lucrative business. And now today, with technology the way it is, where people in India, people in China, people in Korea, they all have smartphones, okay? And with the smartphones, they have fast internet access, which allows them to communicate just like me and you're doing right now, okay? Through Skype, through Facebook, through YouTube. And what does that mean? This means this is the best time to get a virtual assistant, because of the technology and the hunger over there, plus the way our currency exchange happens. Because for every dollar in America, when we exchange it to, let's say, India or Pakistan, when we change it into rupees, the power of dollar is so much more that when you turn $1 US, you'll get 48 rupees or 52 rupees. It always fluctuates, but somewhere around there. So $1 here will equal basically, let's say, 50 rupees there, or 50 of their own dollars there. So as you can see, that's why $120 or $150, when you translate it into their currency, with the power of the dollar, you magnify your money, and you can get super smart people to work for you for a few bucks a month. Unbelievable what you drink at Starbucks, probably on a monthly basis, if not more. Okay, so now, I talked a lot about what a VA is, but let me define what a virtual assistant is. A virtual assistant is someone that works remotely, okay? And usually they work remotely overseas, like India, Pakistan, Philippines, China, Latin American countries like Mexico, like Guatemala, like Brazil, like Hungary. People there have high level of education, college degrees, masters, and a lot of them speak English just like as good as me and you. Maybe the accent's a little bit heavier, but that's why if you use my filtering system, you eliminate people that have heavy accents, and you're able to get cream of the cream. So a virtual assistant is somebody that works remotely for you, for your organization or for your company or whatever, and they help make money for you. They do the hard work, they do the digging, they do the heavy lifting, okay? So you're able to have free time to do whatever you want to do. Be like me, go to the park, ride bicycles, write a book, chase my dreams. So I don't have to do the heavy lifting. Now that doesn't mean that I don't know how to do the heavy lifting myself, because that'd be crazy, and that's one of the main reasons people have failure, because they don't know how to do the heavy lifting. They haven't created system, they haven't created formulas, they don't know how to cold call. And if you hire somebody, guess what? You're gonna magnify exponentially the madness, because you had holes in your net. So you went fishing with holes in your net, and then you duplicated that net with more holes. Just because you have 5 people fishing with you doesn't mean you're going to catch more fishes, because your net has holes in it. So the very first thing is to come up with manuals and guides, which a little bit later I'm going to show you that I have my newest book on how to hire virtual assistants, but more importantly, use my famous VA filtering system, so you can find the best of the best out there to work for you, to make you the profits. And I've also given you my manuals and my job tasks, all for download. I'm gonna sell this book for $1,000, but right now for the first 19 people, I'm gonna let you guys have it for $97. If you go to my website, you could get it for $325, but you have to use the link below, guys, okay, and go from there to get the coupon for $97. Or you can go to my website and get it for $325. Even if you get it from my website for $325, it's still a smoking deal, because I'm gonna sell it for $1,000, okay? And I'm so confident it's gonna help you. And this is the reason I didn't want to share this secret with you guys for the past 3 years since I've been in coaching, because I use it a lot in my real estate business, for my brokerage firm. I use it a lot for my moving company. I use it a lot for my Mr. Investor buying houses. And so now I'm going to show you examples of what I use cold callers in my business, and I'm going to show you how to do it, so you go out there and do it, okay? Now I talked about the virtual assistants. What are the virtual assistants? Now I'm going to talk about 3 benefits. There's a lot of benefits, but I'm just going to about 3 benefits to persuade you need virtual assistants. And the 3 benefits is, number 1, guys, very, very important. The profit margin is exponentially like the heavens, like the sky's the limit. Why? Because you're paying somebody $150, $200, $300, $400 a month, and you have a full-time employee or full-time contractor working for you, or full-time vendor working for you, depends how you structure it, working for you, and they're generating money. They're as smart as, if not smarter than, people working for you at your office locally, okay? And what I've realized is most of these people that I hire remotely are more hungrier than people that I have working for me at my office locally, okay? So that's number 1, massive, massive profits. Number 2, okay, you don't need the infrastructure. You don't need to pay for the infrastructure. What do I mean? For my office, every time I hire an employee, I have to get desks, I have to get chair, I have to get a computer, I have to get a new phone line, I have to increase my internet speed, I have to get all these things, what I call infrastructure, to have them work in my office. But when you outsource to a virtual assistant in India, you put the burden on them. They have to get their own computers, they have to get their own internet, they have to get their own desk, they have to get their own office space. Can you see why it leads into, number 1, massive profits? Because you save so much money on infrastructure, okay? So that's point number 2. And then point number 3, there's so many different benefits, okay? But I'm just going to name the top 3, because I want to show you how to do cold calling with virtual assistants. Is that taxes, guys. You save so much money on taxes, because most people don't know, when you get your paycheck as an employee, you just see that you lost X percentage to Uncle Sam. What you don't realize is, because most of us don't have businesses, is that the business owner has to lose the same exact amount that you've lost. But that business owner now has to lose the same exact amount for all 10 or all 20 of all 50 or all 100 of his employees. So as you can see, that business is now matching whatever you're paying to the government. They're matching, but now they have 10 kids or 20 employees, right? So they're even matching it a lot more. The other thing is bookkeeping. You got to pay all this bookkeeping, CPA, I mean, like if you hire, like I've used like companies like Paychecks or ADT, it costs a lot of money to do that. So it's a lot of headache. There's a lot of basically Uncle Sam makes it really hard for small businesses to have employees and have all these rules, and and I'm not dissing on it, but if corporate America, big companies are outsourcing, believe it or not, Pizza Hut, AT&T, you call your cell phone company, you probably can't recognize it, but I've been in the business such a long time that I can tell who's a virtual assistant, who's not. They're all outsourcing. So why don't you, I don't care if you have a $20 million company or a $1 million company, or just you have a part-time business on the side because you have a full-time job, you should capitalize on this gold mine as well, because it can magnify your business so much. Boosting is understatement, okay? So now I talked about the benefits. I talked about what is a VA. The only thing I want you to explain to you is that there's basically two types of VAs out there, and you need to understand that no matter what your job task is, from if it's cold calling, if it's incoming calls, if it's text messaging, if it's data entry, if it's bookkeeping, there's only two types of VAs out there in this whole world, and I've simplified it to make it so easy for you, okay? Two types of VAs only. You got your front end and you got your back end. The front end are people that use their voice, okay? They're the ones that talk, that they do cold calling, they receive incoming calls, they talk to your vendors, they talk to your customers, they hire for you, they could be management, etc. The back end VAs are virtual assistants that don't use their voice. They're sitting there and just typing behind a computer. These can be email support. They can be your live chat when somebody goes to your website. Like I've used it, they're able to do live chat sales. They can do, extraction. They can do database building. They can do programming. They could do, anything you can imagine, software development. They don't use their voice. They're not going to be on the line talking to your customers. And if they are, they're going to be sitting on the back end via email, okay? Or via chat or a keyboard. So what I'm saying is there's two types of VAs, and I just explained the front end and the back end. So if you want cold callers, if you want people that are going to be using their voice, you need the front end. And the front end VAs, you got to pay a little bit more than the back end VAs. But again, they're in the front, they're in the trenches, and they're making you a lot of money. And a little bit more is basically $150, dude. $30 more. You can get a back end VA for $120. You get a front end VA for $150 just to start out. Now, of course, I highly recommend you guys pay them more and more as they develop more skills, because if you never owned a business, let me tell you, your success, your business success, all depends on your team. If you don't have a good team, I don't give a fuck how great quarterback you are, if people ain't blocking for you, if you don't have receivers that can catch, it doesn't matter, okay? So your team is very, very important. And so you can start out paying these guys $120, $150, save you money, train it for 1 month, train it for 60 days, train it for 90 days, and then pay them more, $200, $300. For my moving company, I paid these guys a lot of money because they did all the business for me. I didn't have to answer phone calls. I didn't have to have hired people inside of the office anymore. I fired all the people that I actually had inside of the office and just got virtual assistants where they work for me, and I paid them a small amount of money and plus bonuses, and they brought a lot of money. When I say I paid them a small amount, the people that work from Dr. Moo, I pay them $500 a month, $1,000 a month, plus bonuses. But again, they made a lot of money from my business, so it was a great win for me. When I hired locally, I would have to hire people, pay them like the minimum wage or pay them more than minimum wage, and it would probably cost me about $2,000 a month. You know what I mean? Not including taxes. Here, I'm able to get these VAs in China, India, and Korea, and Pakistan for just $150, $200 a month, and a lot of them have masters, PhD, and they're a lot smarter than I am. And they're probably a lot smarter than you, believe it or not. And they're very hungry, okay? So now, let's talk about cold calling and why is it so important for your business if you're a realtor, if you're an investor. And the way I'm going to demonstrate that is show you how I use virtual assistants to do my cold calling for my real estate brokerage firm or for my We Buy Houses Mr. Investor, and how I use them, okay? So basically in the cold calling marketing world, you can use the VAs two ways. The first way is what I call they dig and they find motivated sellers for you, okay? So what do I mean by that? And let me explain both of them for you. There's two. There's the ones that dig and find motivated sellers, and then the ones that dig and do the closing for you, okay? Now, I like the number 2, and I did the number 2, but you can do both. Number 1 is the best because you have the most return of your investment. Then number two, it takes a long time because you have to take these VAs and train them to become a closer. And as you realize, most people can't close in America or do sales. So it takes a long time to train somebody in India or Pakistan to be a closer. But it's possible. I've done it, and you can do it too. The people in my moving company, I paid them a lot of money compared to the other VAs because they did the closing for me. When the customers called, they say, where are you moving from? Where are you moving to? Your move is $1,500, your move is $750. Are you going to put it on your credit card, Visa, MasterCard for your deposit? So they did the closing, they did the follow-ups, so I was willing to pay them a lot. So they used to make me a lot of money, okay? So let's talk about the two different types. The ones that do the dig and find motivated sellers, what they're going to do is they're going to do all your digging. They're going to get on, let's say, on one of the marketing tools that I talk about in my book on Amazon that you can get right now for $19. So, for example, let's say they focus on FSBOs. So they get on the FSBOs, they start calling them and start talking to the sellers. Now, what do they ask the sellers? My seller questionnaire form. If you don't have my seller questionnaire form, aka my seller phone script, you must get that, dude. It's only $150. I have it on sale right now. It's normally $325, but it's a must. My students use it. My VAs use it. People that pay me coaching use it. I use it. Everybody in my office uses it. So you should use it because it helps you gather so much information from the seller. It helps you gauge the motivation of the seller. It helps you give a deep discounted cash offer, and also helps you get an owner financing so you don't have to use your money or go get in debt or use your credit, okay? Very, very powerful. So what happens is for the VAs that do the dig in, find a motivated seller, they're getting on the trenches, they're picking up the phone, and they're calling, at least 150 to 300 people a day, each person, okay? And all day, 8 hours a day, okay? They come, they call, they dig. Calling the FSBO. Somebody picks up. Now, there's a lot of different pools out there. I'm just giving you one example. Get my book. It's $19 on Amazon. It'll tell you all of it, okay? But I'm just giving you one example right now. Let's say they're calling FSBOs, and so they call. A seller picks up the phone. They go through my seller questionnaire form. They ask them all the questions. If the seller answers all my questionnaire form, and I train my VA to determine what is motivation, what is not, and the ones that are motivated, then they could just now give you the motivated sellers. And now all you got to do is get on the phone with that one motivated seller and close them. That's it, dude. Okay, set up an appointment to go to their house or close them over the phone. I don't know how you do your business, but the way I would do it is I would just do it all over the phone. But if you're not a pro, master pro, then I highly recommend going and set up an appointment and going to their homes, okay? So the dig and find motivated sellers means that your virtual assistant is sitting here digging every day, calling 150, 300 people a day, and when he or she finds a motivated seller, and how do they know it's a motivated seller? Because I've trained them to know, according to my seller phone script, what is a motivated seller, okay? When they find it, they'll ring that bell, and they'll just pass it to you and say, hey, go champ, close that deal. And what the advantage of this is, you don't have to spend all your mental energy talking to all these people that have been telling you go fuck yourself, right? The people that weren't interested, didn't want to list, all that bullshit. You didn't have to deal with that, because to deal with that, it takes away your positive energy, your feel good confidence when you're dealing with all these people that say no. So what happens is, by the time you get a gold nugget, you're all like, and your energy doesn't portray through. So what I teach you is you set up these foot soldiers. They're the ones that are digging. They're the ones that are taking the beating, and you're only paying them $150 a month. They're taking the beating. Once they find a gold nugget, they ring that bell, like ding, ding, ding. They give it to you. Now you talk to that seller. You set up a time to do a listing presentation if you're a realtor, or you set up a time to put it on the contract if you're a real estate investor. That's it, dude. Okay, that's what I call dig, find, motivate, seller, and pass it to you. The other thing option is what I do is in my investment business, not for my real estate brokers, because realtors have to get the listing, but as an investor, I could have my virtual assistants not only dig but also close. What do I mean by close? Okay, same thing. They will dig on FSBOs, right? Talk to all these sellers. Once they find somebody to talk to them over the phone, they answer the seller questionnaire form. At that time, they will look at the seller questionnaire form. I had already trained them, okay, how to give offers. They will bring me that seller questionnaire form, just like my students do that pay me $25,000 or $6,000. And I help them structure multiple deals. Say, I give this offer, etc. And then they would go out, contact the seller, and give the offer. Okay, they will send out the contract, everything. Okay, so instead of me getting on the phone with the seller and me trying to close them, in this case, I had the VA try to close them. Now, I don't recommend this for most people that are just starting out, because to get somebody from a third world country and have them to be good in sales and also be a closer is extremely hard, okay? But it's definitely possible, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Especially if you download my filtering system, where you find the cream of the cream, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Also in my book, I talk about, where to find VAs, okay? The average way that people talk about. And most of these people that you see on YouTube, they may have VAs, 1 VA, 2 VAs, 3 VAs, okay? But it's not their full-time dedicated VA. I have, at any time, 22 to 30 VAs working for me just for my moving company at any time, okay, the past few years. You can go to my Instagram, look down, you'll see I have a picture where I have like 3 computers going. I'm monitoring all 3. Even though I didn't have to do that, I have managers and VAs that manage other VAs. I still like to watch everybody. And in my book, I show you how to set up manuals, how to set up job tasks, handbooks, how to do the interview process. I give you my information as a turnkey. You just copy it and put your information in there. I show you how to do the interview process. I show you where to run your ads, because the most places like these guys tell you, like Freelancer and Odesk and all these, you're not going to get good people. And the reason I know is because I've done it such a long time. I've gone to those sites and I've done it, okay? Now, if you want to use those sites, you definitely need my filtering system, because when you post on those sites, you'll get a wave of people. And you're going to spend days and days interviewing them, and they're going to promise you the world. And at the end of the day, when you hire them 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, you've already paid them, okay? And then you realize that, man, these guys are jokers, man. They overpromised and they can't even deliver. How do I know? I've been there, done that. And what you'll realize is that you're going to lose hope. You're going to say, oh, VAs don't work because I'm spending so much time with this person to train them, but I'm not getting any money from it. Even though if I'm paying on them $100 or $200, it's not worth it. I'd rather be on the field myself and closing deals, okay? But that's because you're doing it wrong, and I've done it wrong too. If you use my VA filtering system that I'm letting you guys have for just $97 for right now, because it's a pre-order. I should have it done in 7 or 9 days, guys. So if you order it before I get it done, you could have it for $97 if you're using the link below. If you go to my website at My Real Estate Dojo, you can get it for $325 before I get it out. So I'm only letting 19 people have it, ladies and gentlemen. 19 people only for $97. And it shows you where to place your ads besides this average, like Elancer, Freelancer, Odesk that everybody else tells you. Better ways. I show you how to hire them, how much to pay them, how to set up bonuses. I talk about filtering. Now, my filtering system is the king, and that's the thing. Anybody can show you how to hire VAs, but if you don't learn how to filter them and have them jump through hoops, you're not going to find the most motivated VA out there. And I keep talking about motivation. And guys, if you haven't figured it out, I built my whole business, We Buy Houses, on just finding motivated sellers, okay? And I've learned that, the law of 20% customers give you 80% of your business. And that's what I'm trying to show you, that you don't have to deal with all the 80% that give you all the fucking headaches, okay? You can just focus on the 20%. And those 20% are called motivated sellers. I don't care if you're in a car dealership business. The guys that sell the cars to the car dealership, at a deep discount, they're motivated. They want to buy another car, okay? The guys that call me and that sell their homes to me at 50 cents on a dollar, 30 cents on a dollar, 60 cents on a dollar, 70 cents on a dollar, or better yet, they're willing to just let me take over their house payments, or motivated sellers, okay? The people that go to a pawn shop and sell their items they bought for $1,000 for maybe $50, $70, $100 are motivated sellers, okay? So I learned the art of finding motivated sellers. It doesn't matter if I'm dealing with real estate, if I'm hiring employees, if I'm taking new students, if I'm taking new clients, if I'm taking new businesses. I learned the art of finding motivation, okay? And that's what I'm going to show you here, because if you implement my VA filtering system, you're going to save yourself thousands of hours. You're going to instantly make money when you start. And best of all, these guys are going to help you instead of saying, this shit doesn't work, dude. These VAs are idiots, because there's a lot of idiots out there that never been VAs, and they're going to apply for your job when you post on these forums, and you're going to spend a lot of time interviewing them. And what you don't understand is that if you don't have a human resource department, and how much time are you going to invest interviewing 50 people, 25 people, right? But I've created a system where you eliminate that and you get VAs to work for you, okay? What can they do for you? Anything your imagination allows you. In my Mr. Investor, I had VAs cold calling for me. I had VAs closing for me. I had VAs doing setting up appointments with my exit buyers when I do owner financing, or when I do rentals. They deal with the renters. They talk to them. They post online for me. They answer questions like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. They send YouTube video tours to the people. They will send flyers. They will talk to my vendors. In my moving company, I had VAs taking incoming calls. I had VAs doing cold calling. I had VAs for review, getting customers to give us good reviews, for getting feedback. I had back-end reviews that did text message marketing. I had back-end reviews that help with the mail-outs. I had back-end reviews that gather data. I had the back-end reviews doing bookkeeping. So I had SEO. I had Facebook marketing. Like, for example, before I let go of all my companies and pursue being a public speaker, my Facebook was just, three of my companies all were run by VAs, and a lot of times people would think it was me posting, but it wasn't me, it was my VAs. Now I'm on it, okay, because I want to improve the game, and that brings me to the key. If you don't know what to do, if you don't know how to cold call, then hiring a VA to cold call for you, you're gonna have tremendous failure. You're not gonna have any success. So you're better off reaching out to me and me helping you how to structure the deal. Or better yet, download my book first before you reach out to me, so you have the most advanced training on VAs, because I can guarantee you no one's been dealing with VAs since 1999. I started with VAs for my moving company, where I created the first software in America where I was able to give people an instant moving quote right from the comfort of their home without having an on-site estimator come out there. And the price was 100% binding, which means it was guaranteed not to change. So if my software estimated the job only take 3 hours, and I got there and my guys had to work for 7 hours, then guess what? I would eat it. I wouldn't change the price on my customer. One of the first moving companies in America that provided an instant binding guarantee quote online, and I did that through VAs. It would cost me at least like $50,000-$60,000 minimum to have that software developed in America, which I did it for just a couple of $1,000 using people from India and Pakistan, and it took me almost like 6 months to a year to develop this. So I've been working with VAs for a very, very, very long time. I've had back-end VAs, I had front-end VAs. Like I said, I've managed 22 to 30 VAs just for my moving company at one time, dude. That does not include my local workers. So guys, go out there and hustle and bustle. Take advantage of my book. Down there is coming out in 7 or 9 days. Right now you get it for $97. It's going to take you to the next level. I guarantee it, dude. It's going to take you to the next level without the fluff. When you get this module, when you get this book, you don't need nothing else, okay? I know a lot of people just sell you some shit to sell you another shit. I don't do it like that. I'll give you exactly what I use, because I want you to have success. I want you to go out there and make money, and I want you to change your life, dude. Go out there and hustle and bustle. See you later, gang.